How's it going, everybody? It's Shinigami, and I got another rant for everybody. So today, I wanted to bring up the very obvious case of Pokemon Home and the Pokemon Company rushing development, and then the example of Tears of the Kingdom having 6 years of development, and the quality assurance has been astronomical. Okay, sorry about that. Redo. I'm gonna need to get the deal while I'm talking about this shit real quick. So, just wanted to add this in real quick. I wanted to add in a little segment talking about Pokemon Home real quick. So, if some of you may recognize with the update that came out recently, you're only able to about add like 30 Pokemon, which isn't really much. And then the other issue that I take with the whole Pokemon Home update is that a bunch of egg moves, movesets, and signature moves that were added to certain Pokemon are taken away. Victini is one of them as an example that loses its signature move V-Create when it gets transferred into Scarlet and Violet. Another thing that I'm really annoyed by is that a lot of the quote-unquote signature moves are just kind of used as a generic move. So you got Origin Pulse, and then Dragon Pulse, or Draco, whatever the fuck, the one from Regidrago. You got those two moves from Kyogre and then Regidrago, which they just look like carbon copies. One's blue, one's purple, right? And then lastly, the other thing I wanted to add in, since I forgot to fucking unmute myself the last time, was the fact that the Pokemon Company, being as big as it is, keeps forgetting about the fans that, you know, put them in the place that they're in right now. Anybody who's like basically 25 plus years old pretty much has a say in Pokemon. If you've been following along since like Gen 3 or 2 or whatever, you know. So I just want to get that across. And then the other big thing that I had an issue with, I want to say, was if you transferred over like a extra small Pokemon, or yeah, I believe it was an extra small Pokemon, you transfer them over into Home, they'll get bungled up and just become regular size when you send them to Scarlet and Violet, right? So there's a few, you know, game breaking issues that are going on right now with Pokemon Home, and I just want to say they should definitely address that shit, because we waited 6 months from when Scarlet and Violet released, right, to now, and Pokemon Home has been shit. What have we been paying for? What have we been doing for the last 6 months with Pokemon Home? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a raid from like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, or something like that, where you have some end game content. You literally have your Pokemon stored away in a cloud space. You know? So, I just wanted to add that in. We've only been 30 Pokemon added from Pokemon Home, so that's kind of shit. When you look at these two games side by side, even looking back at Legends Arceus, there is a distinct difference in how Game Freak approached creating this game, or there's 6 games in between, and then Legend of Zelda, which had a gap of 6 years again. And something we keep seeing from a lot of videos, which I will pull up and show in this, is that, you know, they had a little bit more time to really focus. Something else that I've been brought to my attention is that the Legend of Zelda team has about 360 some people working on it, whereas the Pokemon Company has about 150 some people. So if you do the math and just realize that Pokemon does 2 teams, Team A, Team B, they're already cutting their labor in half, which means the amount of people that can actually work on a single project is really low. And what you get, which I will show here on the screen in a little while, is all the examples of cutting corners, and something that a other famous YouTuber had brought up quite a bit, Gireum Red. He was also pointing out how, hey, for the longest time, Pokemon has been cutting corners basically since X and Y came out. We all know we were supposed to have gotten a Pokemon Z. They ended up saying, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna jump ship, go right to Gen 7. Didn't make sense. There were so many plot holes and stuff that didn't make sense in that game. And then when you really look back at the fact they've been using the same model since X and Y, it really fucking gets annoying at this point. They've been doing very little updates to the models, to the textures, to the animations, especially. Some of them, especially right now, for the Pokemon Home update. The animations for, I believe it was Origin Pulse and Drago's Dragon Beam, or where the fuck it is. They're literally like carbon copies, just swap out the colors. Something else that has been really fucking annoying is you keep seeing how buggy the past Pokemon games have been, pretty much since BDSP, and then Legends Arceus had its own issues, and then now you have Scarlet and Violet, which, you know, yeah, people are bringing over their Pokemon, but I still have a fear that you're gonna lose all those Pokemon out of just the blink of an eye, because Game Freak doesn't know how to code and make shit not fuck up. And then something else very critical about the whole thing: when you have Game Freak, the Creatures Inc., and then Nintendo, which all have a fight in the game, in the Pokemon company's marketing and how they do all this stuff. It's very one-sided when you see that they just keep trying to do this 3-year cycle where, okay, after 3 years, doing a new gen, new anime, new cards, new merch, right? Well, I think a lot of people would be very pleased if we just cut that back. You do not have to have a Pokemon game every 3 years, a mainline game every 3 years. Even the DLCs, I'm going to complain right now about those. Those are garbage. Yeah, they may look okay right now because we have been so deprived of fucking content, but when you really look at it, take a deep dive on what they've shown us, this is going to be maybe 5% added to the game. It's not going to be a whole lot. Let me guess. You're probably going to have some little feature that's only in these areas, and you won't be able to do that feature on the mainland, because that's what they've been doing. Example of Sword and Shield, Crown Tundra, and that other fucking one, Isle of Armor, where they had the following Pokemon, great, but then guess what? You couldn't do that in Galar. And then when it came to like the the raids and other stuff like that, they were exclusive to that new area. Like, I get some of these points for why they do it, but if they were to just come out with one game, fuck the whole exclusivity part, I think this company would be in a much better spot. But they're very primitive right now. They're still thinking, hey, we got to do this whole 2-game versions, and that'll be it. It's just like, dude, you literally have coding in it where these games are the exact same. The only thing that switches is the fucking logo or some of the Pokemon spawns. Like, you do not need to be doing this anymore. Legends Arceus showed that it'll still fucking get bought by a bunch of people. You don't need to have 2 version exclusive games. Just make one fucking game and everybody will enjoy it. There's a reason why XD Shadow of Darkness, XD Gale of Darkness, you got Pokemon Coliseum, all these other games from like the GameCube and other era, that they were just singular. Yeah, they were spin-offs or whatever, but they still did really well. And when you look back at all this stuff that we've been adding in recently, we're kind of lacking in all that good stuff. Literally, the game was broken for about almost 6 months when it released, Scarlet and Violet, I should say, and it took them almost half a year, or a little bit over half a year, to just give us Pokemon Home. Unacceptable. For a company that is making as much money as they are, which is the highest grossing franchise in the world, they definitely should be managing their accounts a lot better instead of splitting it onto the card game or something else. Like, the whole bread and butter is the Pokemon games, technically. Like, yes, the merchandise and the anime and other stuff like that, but look, you already got rid of Ash, so now the anime is just going to be doing its own thing. The only main focus should be the games. Make those as great as you can, make them with the best endgame content, stuff that anybody can do, like the shit you've added in before, all the customization that we don't have anymore, all the little gimmicks like in Pokemon Sun and Moon, where you had the little camera mode, you would go into certain spots, basically like a small version of Pokemon Snap, like things like that, or even like the little fashion show where you can dress up your fucking Pokemon. All these are just great additions that have been forgotten, and especially Mega Evolution, we should definitely bring that back. I don't care how some of these people want to say, oh, it's game breaking, blah blah blah. You can have it on a turn-based scheme where it only lasts 3 turns, just like Gigantamax and all that other fun stuff. You don't need to have it to where it lasts the whole fucking playthrough of that match. But hey, these are just my suggestions. I just had a little bit of rant time, and it just really sparked a fire under me to go over this, because Game Freak, you're fucking up. You better do better, and I hope more people realize that all they're getting for this Pokemon Home update is 30 new Pokemon added. That's it. So yeah, enjoy that. I already got rid of mine. I might play the DLC, but then again, it would only be to review and see how they've improved, or do like crap. Until then, that's going to be it for me. I'm going to show you the video as well, split it in here at some point, but it's Shinigami signing out. Hope you have a good day, good morning, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.